Hey guys, I'm Brian. She's Brenda on YouTube at New Life Recovery. Brenda, welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, welcome to another day. Good to see you too, sir.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of want to jump right in. Last week we were talking about where addiction hides, and we talked about how addiction hides in our desires for love, joy, and peace, or often turn to addiction or compulsive behaviors to anesthetize the pain of not feeling love, joy, and peace. And last week we did a great show. Actually, had a lot of good comments about it. So if you didn't check out last week's, it's called something like "Where Addiction Hides." Brenda and Brian. I encourage you to check that out because we talked about that first item, which is love, and went into detail with that. Today we want to talk about kind of how do we defeat the holiday sorrows. This time of year can be really a great time. You know how the song says, it's the most wonderful time of the year. But like for some people, it's not. In my group therapy, I always ask my members, could you share a goal for this week? And just yesterday, I had a woman say, I got 2 small Christmas trees that I'm getting ready to decorate. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, that's nice. Um, but then she said to take to my daughter's graves. And that's what she's going through this time of year. I had another member say that it was around this time of year that her mother had passed away last year, and now her father has got some kind of terminal disease and wasn't given much time to live. And the truth is, the holidays can be a hard time for a lot of us. It
Yes.
reminds us of, you know, even the guilt or shame of the things that we've done around the holidays. you know it can be a hard time of year because we're mourning the loss. And the question for us, how do we build joy into our lives? How do we defeat the holiday sorrows? Brenda, have any thoughts on that?
Well, it's difficult. And if it was easy, everybody would do it and we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Yeah.
Uh, I have lost two people very close to me due to suicide during December. And
Yeah.
because we all have different journeys, we all handle it differently. Oxford language defines joy as a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. Therefore, joy is separate from happiness. Their secondary definition to that is joy is an inner feeling and happiness is an outward expression. So
Oh.
happiness was not meant to be sustained. And I think we're programmed from an early age to think, oh, we have to be happy all the time. No, but you can have joy all the time. But you have to learn that foundation first. So, and that's it. People are programmed from the beginning wrong, incorrectly. And when you see people out there during this time of year being a curmudgeon, being a bah humbug, it would be nice if we all had a little extra grace because not
Wow.
everybody
Yeah.
have a family. Not
Yeah.
everybody has a place to go to. I have worked very hard on choosing joy because you have to choose it.
That's so good, Brenda. I love your definition. I had no idea you were gonna. I didn't know you did research on the subject, or like I just happen to
Last week
know.
I got a few things to say about joy, so
I just happen to know the Oxford Dictionary definition, but that's so true. That's good. I use the illustration of picture an ocean that it's storming out and the waves are crashing and it's violent. It's windy and it's raining. And if you're a ship on that water, boy, you are feeling every ebb and flow and lift and crash. But if you're a fish a mile down, a mile deep, I don't even think you know it's raining.
I
You
don't
know,
I don't believe so. I agree.
I think it's just calm. And that's the difference between joy and happiness as you defined it. I think that's interesting. I do think like deep inside, I can have a joy that's here. Now, on the surface, life is hard, and I might not always be that sunshiny Pollyanna, you know, but you can still have this inner joy. But then where does that come from? I don't want to put you on the spot, but any thoughts
Well,
on
that
that?
comes from a foundation and that you just can't go out and buy it. It's not on sale at Macy's or Saks or Walmart at a discount. You have to find it in yourself. And my foundational joy is not the same thing as your foundational joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just a super quick example. I know we're limited on time, but this past Thanksgiving, I had plans for the first time ever to go to a family Thanksgiving, and I was going to be part of the family photo.
Mhm.
Okay. It was canceled at 9 o'clock that Wednesday night before Thursday morning Thanksgiving. I was devastated. I was sad. Okay. You
Yeah.
have to take time to realize that your feelings are valid. All right. Then you have to look. Okay, go ahead and be Pollyanna. What is good about this situation? Hey, I don't have
Yes.
to drive. I get to stay
Yes.
in. It is your responsibility for your happiness. That stupid movie that says, "Oh, you complete me." That is so bogus.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, that's so good, Brenda.
Joy, you got to find it, define it for yourself. It's not going to look the same. But then when you have that foundation, then you can build on it. I have a problem sustaining happiness. That's when I started to learn about happiness. You know what? It's completely different than joy. I'm happy when I went to a certain show, but then you leave and your adrenaline crashes and you're like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
not happy anymore. I wish I could be like that all the time. And that's where addiction comes in. It's the
Yes.
holidays. Your relatives drink, maybe they smoke, maybe and that is how they attain that happiness that is misinterpreted for joy.
That's so
That's
good, Brenda.
the problem with addiction.
So you mentioned gratitude. I think that's so powerful. You mentioned that we all have to find it in our own way, and I think that's very true. Your life doesn't look the same as mine. We didn't grow up in the same places. We live very, very different lives. Um, I think a lot of people find it in spirituality, and that's valid.
Mhm.
So I think big picture, whatever your values are, and that's something for us to consider today. Really ask myself, what are my values? And then, am I living for that? You know, that's where I'm going to find fulfillment. Or you could ask yourself another question. What are the things that I do that give me the most sense of purpose? And really think about that. What is something that I do that I feel like I really have a sense of purpose when I do that? And it might be being the aunt to your nephew, you know. It might be being, the parent to your 2-year-old. And when we are able to identify our values, then we can go back and say, am I really living for that? You know, I say I value playing guitar. When's the last time I picked up a guitar? You know, um, yesterday I had to go out and do some running for the family. And on the way home, I was trying to find some Christmas music on the radio and I couldn't find any. And so I popped my CD in. It's an old Bruce Springsteen CD, guys, I haven't listened to in a long time. And I cranked it up and I was singing along. Man, I came home, I turned on my piano, I pulled up my phone, and played one of those songs on the piano and sang along, because that's something that I value. And that's where I feel like we're going to get our joy. Really figure out what is my purpose and what are my values, and make sure that I'm investing in that. Guys, this was really good. Yeah, Brenda, some final thoughts.
And allow yourself to reassess what used to make you happy and what can make you happy now. Open your mind. Open your mind to a new source of joy.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's awesome. Guys, say this every week, but I love you. God bless you. Until next time, be well.